Hi everyone, it's Michelle, um, student, teacher, chief groovy officer, and I am buzzing right now. Um, Not just because I'm drinking some Chardonnay, but because I've just had a fabulous day and self-care. But why do I say but? It was self-care. I did what I wanted to do. The plan for the day was no plan, and I'm thrilled that that was my plan. I had a great day just doing whatever I wanted. Sunday, went for a walk, took a drive in England. First time without, hi, sweetie. This is Millie saying hi to me over here. I'm dog sitting. And oh, that was an adventure. If you had been in my head while I was driving to the grocery store. Okay, sweetheart. Anyhow, what I was excited about, I get all these explosive thoughts when I'm in the shower, and I almost was going to do one raw from the shower because I'm so excited about everything. But I'm really very grateful for all the coaches that I've had, and all the time, and like I said, student teacher, all the curiosity that I've had in myself. And as I think about what I want to share on this channel, I think about, there really isn't any new messages, but perhaps the way that I share something is going to call to you, and then you're going to be able to take action, because all the people that I've listened to in my life have, for whatever reason, that teacher appeared at the right place when I needed them. Or I shouldn't say they appeared. I'm going to give myself credit for manifesting them, because that's exactly what I did. I manifested them, and they're all great. And the two that come to my mind I have to do after I got divorced from my third husband, and that was a very drama-drenched divorce. And I had at that time a life coach and a business coach, and that was because I wanted to keep those parts of my life separate. And my life coach at that time was Rhonda Britton. And I'm going to go someplace else with this. Maybe I'll get there if I remember toward the end, but if I don't, I'm sure it'll come up in a future video. But Rhonda, I started to watch when I started to be an entrepreneur, because she did at 10 a.m. It was called the something house. Anyhow, where she had this group of women, and she and this other coach, they helped these women transition. And I watched her. She was a celebrity to me. I mean, she's totally cool. I was like shocked when she became my life coach, because funny, as I tell you how I'm a great manifester, I was like, how on earth could I afford her? How on earth could she be in my circle? And she is in my circle, and she's approachable, and she's brilliant, and she, the lesson that I'm thinking that she shared with me, and there were so many, but the one that's really resonating with me right now is to just take care of myself impeccably. And I feel like I've been doing that more and more and more, and I just want to say thank you, Rhonda. And then the other person was Ray Majors Wildman, and she was my business coach, and we've been exchanging a lot of messages via Facebook. I miss you, Ray. I mean, I need to have a conversation with you in the very near future, because you've also had a huge impact on my life. And I shared, when I first started this channel, the very first one, that video that I downloaded talked about how I came up with the idea during the pandemic to couch surf. And that was because of Ray, because I had something happen during my business, and I wanted to pull back from my coaching with Ray, because I invested a lot of money in that. And Ray shared with me something really interesting, and it stuck with me, and I still think about this till this day. Ray, thank you so much. And that is that women constrict during times, and men, when they have business challenges happen like the one that I had, men tend to, they don't constrict the way women do. They flow. And I don't know all of why that exists probably Ray or Rhonda can speak to that. But the fact of the matter is, we're kind of conditioned that way as women. And if it wasn't for that, that was what was going through the back of my head when I decided during the pandemic to Airbnb my house and couch surf on my friends' couches. That was the inspiration. So I want to give you a big, huge shout out, Ray. Thank you so much for that, and so many other things. And then I'm also thinking of Lola Jones when I went to the silent retreat, and I spent some time really spending time with myself, being quiet. I love to talk. Can you tell? Shocking, right? I know. But I didn't realize how much energy talking actually takes. And when I did a 5-day silent retreat, I got a whole nother perspective. And but the biggest thing that I took from that retreat was understanding that our emotions are not good or bad. We label them good or bad because some feel better, some don't feel as good. And the ones that don't feel as good that we label as bad, when we're angry or when we're sad or when we're frustrated, those aren't necessarily pleasant feelings, but they're indicators, not that they're bad, they're indicators that we're not on our soul's path. And when we're happy and joyful and blissful, then we're on our soul's path. And if we're somewhere in between, that's cool too, because that's just a resting area. But really understanding how my emotions are indicators. And again, I'm going to go back to, as women, I believe that I got socialized in that I wasn't supposed to express my anger. That wasn't a very womanly thing to do. And therefore, I probably stuffed it and ended up making decisions because I didn't know how to process that particular emotion. And then I kept getting lessons like marriages. And I don't even want to say the marriages that didn't work, because I'm really grateful right now at this point in time for everything that I have manifested. All 3 of my marriages, even though all 3 of my marriages ended in divorce, I'm so grateful for them, and I'm so grateful for those men, and at those men I loved very much at the time that I married them, and I forgive them, and I forgive myself, and that leads me to this other coach that I was just listening to with Rika. She does this toning, and I've not actually ever paid for Rika. She was referred to someone that I met when I went on a Qigong trip to China. This one woman followed her, and so I've been following her, and she just recently turned me on to this other gentleman, and for the life of me I can't remember his name right now, but I'll leave that in the comments somewhere below. But he is talking about how to manifest wealth, and not manifest wealth, like what wealth really is, how that energy really works. And it ties into what I learned with Lola Jones, and even what Ray touched upon, and even what, again, all these people, the message isn't unique, but I heard it in different ways at different points in times, and I keep peeling back the layers. And the thing that this gentleman said is, there's 7 gives, and the last one is to forgive. And the first 6, I was like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Yep, I just recently purged my closet, got a whole Poshmark page going that I had to put on vacation while I'm here in the UK. But what I started to realize, when there's some forgiveness that happens, usually that shows up as debt in your life. And the reason I'm doing this Trusted House Sitters and Airbnb my place is to clear up tiny bits of debt, but still debt. And I was like, okay, where am I not? Because I feel like I've forgiven other people. Probably the wound that was probably the biggest to forgive would be my last husband. And funny enough, when I was hanging Christmas lights with my former boyfriend, that's when I forgave him, because I realized that was something that he and I did really well together, and I missed it. And in the moment that I missed it, that's when I realized I forgave him, because that's when I remembered all the wonderful things that we had, and that I cherish. And I I continue to cherish. But I started to think about forgiveness, and another friend of mine, Jen, I'll give you a shout out too. She's a little yogi. Jen, she turned me on to Abraham Hicks. And so I looked him up for whatever reason on YouTube. Again, haven't done one of his seminars, but I looked him up on forgiveness, and it talked about, it's not really that we have to forgive ourselves. It's that we're just trending in an area that doesn't serve us. I'm paraphrasing this. Look it up. Just look up Abraham Hicks, forgiveness. It's like a 15-second YouTube video. And I'm playing that one over and over and over in my mind. And lastly, where I'm going to leave this with, because I'm just like, blah, 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 keep going on and on and on here. Where I'm going to leave this with is, when I was in Ireland, I had a psychic reading, and I was sharing with the psychic. He said something about healing a special person in my life, and then he said something about, and I said, I know, I'm a healer. I have that ability to do that. It's not what I've ever done for a living, but I know I contain that potential, and I've cultivated some of it in the form of Reiki. But then he said, use that on yourself. You need to heal yourself. And I really wasn't really thinking that I needed any healing. And I don't think that I do, but where I'm going with this is, he said, so what do you want to do with your YouTube channel? And I'm still not sure. I'm waiting to see what direction the universe takes me, what direction we're going to co-create, as I said in another video earlier. But I shared with him that I've really kind of put pause on to figure out exactly what it is I want to do, because I'm a really good manifester. I am really good at manifesting things. And I've manifested some really great things, but the words I used with this individual was, I've manifested shit in the past, and I don't want to clean up any more shit. And now I'm realizing I didn't manifest shit. I manifested exactly what I needed, and things in those lessons may have been uncomfortable, and they may have brought up some of those feelings that I was referring to, where I was frustrated or angry or disappointed, or, label whatever doesn't feel good. Embarrassed, ashamed, whatever it is, it didn't feel good. I manifested that. But because I manifested that, that's why I'm here today. And that's why I'm just shining so brightly and vibing so brightly in this moment. I don't know what the next moments are going to hold, but even if they're not as pleasant as this one is, I know that it's for my highest good, and I just really felt called to share this with all of you. And my biggest heart and love is being sent to all of you. Be groovy, everyone.